Hi there, everyone. Let me tell you, we are going to start a unique video series for Java programming language. So, I will teach you how to program in Java. So, first of all, I will teach you some basic concepts and basic syntax and basic fundamental elements in Java so that you get started, and then we will move towards some advanced programming in Java. So I will use the Eclipse IDE for programming in Java, and so here we are opening it. It will take some time because the Android bundles are actually integrated in it. Because of that, it becomes a little bit heavier. So okay, so first of all, I will try to teach you some basic concepts and basic things in Java, which could help you to get started in Java. And in today's tutorial, I will teach you about the basic data types in Java. So let's create a new Java project, and named it data types. So the workspace is building. We have to wait for it until it finished its build of the workspace. So here we go. So here our a folder of the new Java project has been created. So we will have all the resources of the project in this folder, and it contains source, and some package folders will also be packages will also be included here. So we are going to create a package, and I will name it as data types. So now create a class. Java is let me tell you something about Java. Java is actually purely object-oriented programming language, and it's very robust and very secure and high-performance language. And so Java is as purely object-oriented. So everything in Java would must be inside a class. So we are creating a class, named it as data types. So we are including main function, the main method in it, and control starts from the main method. Okay, so in this program we will use some uh, data types, basic data types of Java. Basically, there are two types of data types which is offered by Java. One is primitive data types, and other is reference or object data types. Today we are going to use primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types offered by Java. One is of integer class, and those are byte, int, short, long. And floating data types are float and double. And we have boolean data types as boolean, and also we have character data type. So these 8 data types we will use in our today's program. In integer class we have byte data type, and it's so basically, let me tell you first what is a variable. A variable is nothing, is just a memory location, and variable saves reserves memory in computer, and the data type of the variable specifies which kind of values can be stored in that reserved location and how much space would be reserved by the operating system to that variable. So byte data type is basically of 8 bits, means 1 byte. So it will reserve 1 byte of memory location. Let me create a variable of byte data type x. So now this x would be a memory location inside the computer, and it will reserve 8 bits of the space, means 1 byte space in the memory. And we can actually, the range of a byte type variable is plus minus 127. So I'm I'm assigning a value, let's say 10 to the byte, and integer another type of integer class we have is the short, and short is of 2 bytes, means 16 bits. So it will reserve 16-bit space inside the memory, and it can store value in the range of plus minus positive negative 32,000 approximately, like that. Let's say I'm assigning it value 30,000, and another data type of integer class we have is int. Let's name it let's name the variable I. So integer reserves actually 4 bytes of space in memory, that is 32 bits, and the range of values which it can store is actually in billions, sorry, actually in yeah, millions. Let's say giving value like that. Okay, and another data type is long, and you can store pretty larger values inside a long type variable. It could be in million, billions, and trillions. Okay, and another class of the data type is floating types. Actually, these are not the official names, you could say, but for making it simpler for you, I'm by myself giving it categories so that you could remember it easily. And inside floating category, which can the floating type can store the number having decimal. So let's create a float type variable f equal to, and give a value which contain decimal, like that. So and float type reserves 4 bytes of space in memory, and long type reserves 8 bytes of the space in memory, that is 64 bits. So the range of the float is pretty much similar to the range of the integer, but it can contain decimal in the numbers, in the values. But here is giving me an error, that is type mismatch cannot convert from double to float. Actually, the values having decimal in Java is by default considered of double type. That's why it's giving this error here. That means the Java compiler is considering this value of double type, but here the variable is a float type. That's why it is giving us a message that there is an error here in this line, and that is type mismatch. So for declaring float type variables and initializing float type variables, you have to typecast them as we have done here. So now there is no error because at runtime the Java compiler will convert this value, which he considered first as that it is of double type. So he will consider the Java compiler will convert this value to float, and so now it could be assigned to a float type variable. So there is no type mismatch like um, issue here now anymore. So and another floating type we have is double. So you can store pretty large amount of value having decimal in that or containing decimal. So you can store large amount of decimal values in double type, and in double type reserves 8 bytes of memory, 8 bytes of memory in the computer. And the double type range is pretty similar, is really identical to long type, but the difference is that it can contain the decimal values. So float can store larger integer values, and double can contain larger decimal values. So okay, it's a very basic tutorial that as I have told you that we will start from basics, so it could be helpful for the beginners. So because of that we have to go through from the basics. Okay, well, so another category we have character, and character actually can store a single 16-bit Unicode character, and the keyword to declare a character data type is char. So let's create a variable of character type. Let's name it C, and the character should be enclosed inside a single quote. And another data type we have is boolean. A boolean is actually it can store one bit of information, and that could be true or false. So boolean variables, boolean values could be used uh, to test some conditions or to check something whether it is true or false. And keyword for declaring boolean type variable is boolean. So let's create a boolean variable and name it b. Let's give them value. Let's say true. So these are all 8 primitive data types provided by Java. That is, we have 4 in the category of integer class, 2 in the category of floating types, or in category of decimal class, 1 in having in the character category, and another is boolean category. Well, you can also actually it's not a primitive data type. We didn't claim it as a primitive data type, but it's a class. The string is a class, and its object can sometimes really behave as a data type which can store a sequence of characters. So the string is a sequence of characters. It's not a primitive data type, but it's all these are pretty much the you know, it's a string is actually not. I'm once again saying it. It's not a primitive data type, and these airs are primitive data type. But you can also use the string variables are objects to store some string for you, so which you can immediately process or whatever your problem is. It depends on the excuse me, it depends on the problem. So excuse me, I'm sorry for the interruption. So you can also use string variables to store some string for you, so that you could process it in your program. So now, yes, so the basic, yeah, output statement. So output statement in Java is system.out.print or print line. So you can use this command to print anything on the console screen here. So I'm going to print the values of these variables which have been stored. And the difference between print line and print is the print line actually first prints anything here inside the parentheses on console screen, and then ends a new line, or starts a new line. And print just only prints anything inside the parentheses, and does not start a new line. So if you use two consecutive print commands, so it will appear on your console screen uh, as a single row, in a single row, or in a single line. So I'm gonna copying it for saving time. So we are displaying, oops, sorry, we are displaying the values of those variables which we have assigned in our program. So I'm only printing integer type values, integer values. So here we see the results on our output, sorry, on our console screen. Alright, let me tell you one more thing in this tutorial, and that is how we can get input for our variables from user from the console screen through console. So for that purpose, a class named as scanner is used in Java. So let me create an object of the scanner, scan equal to new scan, new scanner, system.in. It's Java compiler is actually asking for it to import the scanner class, and scanner class is inside the util package, so we have to import it first in order to use it. So import java.util.scanner. So now as we imported our class, so the error suddenly disappeared. So we have initialized our object of the scanner class named as scan, and this scan will take value for x, which is a byte data type variable from the console screen from the user. Scan dot, and so it has bunch of functions which you can use as you require them. So for taking integer value from console screen, the scan calls the function name, the method named next int. Okay, so sorry, actually I'm using the byte type variable, so we have to call the next byte. Here we go. For, just for the sake of the convenience, I want to print a message for the user, and please enter a byte value. So now save it and run it. As the message has been popped out on the console screen, now please enter a byte value. So let me give value of 20 the byte variable, and this 20 value will be passed into program in this statement, and it will be assigned to x, and then x here later is in the bottom of the program is being printed on the console screen. Here this result we can see here, the result we can see here. So this was enough for today in this tutorial. So in this tutorial we basically learned about primitive data types in Java programming language, and we also learned how to take input during runtime through console screen from the user. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you soon in the next videos.